So I got into dispatch completely by chance. I joined the Navy right out of high school, and I picked the fastest job I could to ship out because I wanted to get out of my hometown, which ended up being military police. And at the end of my career, I ended up going to dispatch. So when I got out of the Navy and it was time for me to get a real job, I decided I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I just spent 6 years in the Navy, so why don't I try to be a dispatcher? So I found a posting online, and I got the job, and now 6 years later, here I am. The worst call I've ever taken, it was the very end of my shift one morning. I was still pretty new, and I got a call for an accident. The guy was screaming. He didn't know where he was. He told me that, and right where he was saying it was actually on the border of two different fire jurisdictions. It turns out that there were occupants inside the vehicle that were entrapped, and the vehicle was on fire. I can still hear, in my mind, the sound of the flames and the caller screaming. He had no idea who these people were. He just came across this accident and the flames were too big, so he could not get the people out. And unfortunately, no one in that vehicle survived. So the best call I've ever taken was a 911 call, and I don't even remember what the lady needed, but it was this little old lady who was just scared and wanted a police officer, and she did not want me to get off the phone. So I told her I will stay on the phone with you as long as I can. Luckily, it was not super busy in the center, so I was able to stay with her the entire time. And by the end of the call, when the officer got there, I said, "Ma'am, the officer should be there." And she said, "Oh, goodness, he's here." She said, "Honey, what's your name?" And I said, "My name's Diana." And she said, "Thank you so much, Diana." And it was in that moment, the complete sincerity in her voice of how happy she was that I stayed on the phone with her, made me realize that I picked the right job and that people are genuinely happy that there is that voice on the end of the line to help them, whether it's a big emergency or a small emergency. I am Diana. I am 911.